Hello, everybody. I'm Hanlie Strydom, the Faculty Librarian for Economic and Management Sciences, and I'll be presenting this session on search strategies as part of our Research Week program. I'll be sharing 3 different search strategies for you in order to assist you to manage the information overload that most researchers experience, and I'm also going to share a few search tips with you. I'm going to do a live demonstration of all the different search strategies, but I want you to take note that we have a library guide available with all the information about the different search strategies and even more available on the library homepage. So I'm going to share my screen and also show you where you can find this library guide with all these information. Kirchner, if you can maybe just give me an indication when you can see the library's homepage.
I can see it.
All right, so let's start. On the library's homepage, right at the top, under the tab Learning, we have information on Find, Access and Use Information Effectively, a step-by-step guide. And if you select that guide, you will find detailed step-by-step information when you receive an assignment, how to start out and what you do. In this session, we are going to focus on the search strategy. And like I've said, I'm going to share with you 3 different search strategies, namely the first one, quick and easy search technique, the second one, the building blocks search technique, and the third one, the pole growing, also called snowballing search technique. Now, all of you, when you start to search, you will start with the quick and easy search technique because that's the easiest way to get an overview of what's available on your topic and to get your kickstart with your research. And the best source to do a quick and easy search strategy and search is to use the library's search engine called SunSearch. Now, what is SunSearch? This is the library's specific search engine, and this will help you to search for peer-reviewed papers, theses, books, abstracts, and scholarly literature from all areas of research. You are covering different databases with one search, and also it's indexed in most cases, not by full text. Let's just stop here for a moment and let me discuss a few of these concepts that I've mentioned here. First of all, what is peer-reviewed journals? Once again, on this guide that we have here, under Find Information, if you select the option Find Articles, you will see that we have a nice description on how to find peer-reviewed articles and also what is peer-reviewed articles. Academic journals, also called scholarly or peer-reviewed journals, contain the latest research in a particular field of study, and these articles are written by experts in that field. And they are usually peer-reviewed, meaning they have been reviewed by other and fellow experts in that field before that article could have been published and accepted for publication in good quality academic journals. So when you limit your search to only peer-reviewed journals, you know you are searching in credited academic information that you can use for your research purposes. Now, I've mentioned that SunSearch will cover multiple databases. So what is a database? A database is an electronic index that indexes journal or magazine articles containing citations, abstracts, and often either the full text of the article or links to the full text. Now, you will see immediately if you then use databases that indexed academic peer-reviewed information, you already sort of limit yourself and from this finding this lot of information on the internet. So let's stop for a moment there as well. Why would we suggest that you use library databases for your research? Why can't you just Google? Please remember that the Google and the internet provides free access to what companies and people have made available to the public. But remember, anyone can create a web page, whether they are a subject expert or not, and no one is policing the internet. Also, search engines offer, like Google, fewer options for narrowing your results and for advanced searching. On the other hand, when you use research databases, this offers access to thousands of books and articles, charts, and primary sources. And these databases contain scholarly and peer-reviewed articles written by credible authors, such as researchers and experts in their field. And databases also provide powerful search tools, and you will see this, and I will demonstrate that for you when we start with our search strategies within the different databases. And this allows you to narrow your results and enabling you to find more quality information that you need very quicker, so that you don't waste your time. We've also mentioned that the way that the information are indexed. So what does that mean? One other main difference between Google and databases are the way that information and keywords are indexed. Within Google, full text indexing takes place. That means when you search with your keywords or your concepts in Google, it can be anywhere in that document. It can be in the title, the abstract, the URL, somewhere in the full text. It could even be just mentioned in the reference list. Whereas if you search in a database, these keywords that you search for would be indexed only in the abstracts or in the title or the keywords provided by the author. And that's one of the reasons why you would always find a lot of more information on Google, whereas if you searched within a specific database. But how do you know which databases are the most appropriate for your topic and your subjects, and what databases must you use? I want to show you on the library's homepage once again. All of you are from different faculties and you have different subjects, fields, and different topics. So on the homepage of the library, if you select Library Guides, you will find an alphabetical list of all the guides that we have here to assist students, and for each and every department, there's a library guide available. Also for the branch libraries, for the engineering library, music library, etc., you will find a library guide. And all of these guides, let's, for an example, select the theology library. All of them will have somewhere on that guide a tab available with a list of key databases that are suggested for that specific subject fields and those students to use. And these databases are recommended by the specific subject librarian for that subject field. So keep in mind, whatever I'm going to show you now is just an indication of how you would do your search, and that you can always go back to your faculty librarian who's the expert on your subject field and databases, just to confirm which databases is the best for you to use. But like I've mentioned, with the quick and easy search technique, all of you will start and search on the library's catalog, Sun Search. So let me quickly share a few search tips with you. Before you start to search, unlike as within Google, where you can just copy and paste your topic into the Google, when you use databases, your first step always would be to use keywords to search for information. I'm going to use one of my own guides to share information with you and a few search tips. So the first step would be, before you start to search, take a look at your topic and to identify your keywords. That's the first step. In this example here, say for an example, you had to find information about, is it true that economic growth makes the rich richer and the poor poorer? You will see that you sometimes have to think about the concepts, and that you will have to look for other words and other keywords to describe and express the information or the assignment that you're looking for. In this example, about the rich richer and the poor poorer is actually about inequality. So that would be one of your keywords that you identify. So take some time, take a look at your topic, and try to identify keywords that you can use to search in databases. That is always your first step. Then the second step that you would do after you've identified your keywords is to combine your keywords. And in the library world, we talk about Boolean operators. Now, Boolean operators are just by using the operators and, or, and not to combine your different keywords and concepts. And if I can explain the use of these Boolean operators in combining your keywords by the following. There's a nice link here that gives you a nice indication of how these operators and, or, and not work to combine your keywords. If you combine your keywords with an and it's always best to type that in capital letters when you do your search in databases. You will find in this example articles where both the keywords endangered and birds appear. So you will only find articles where both those keywords appear in the article. So you can immediately see that this will limit your results. So this is another way of combating information overload. If you typed in your concept or your keyword and you find a lot of information, think of another keyword, another concept, and combine that with an and immediately will find less information. If you struggle to get information and you need more, or you just want to make sure that you include all the relevant keywords, synonyms, related terms for specific concept, you will combine that keywords by using the operator or. In this example, if you search for endangered or birds, we will find articles where either the keyword endanger or bird or both endangered and birds appear. You will see by this diagram here, you will find more. The not is one of those operators that you won't use that often, but it can be very effective. Not you will use to exclude specific terms. Now, if I can give you an example, I once had a student who were doing research on empathy between doctors and patients. But whenever she searched for information, she keeps on finding information, articles about empathy between nurses and patients, and she wasn't looking for the nurses. So I suggested to her to search for empathy, not nurses, and immediately she excluded all the nurses' information. So it can be very powerful and effective, but be careful that you don't exclude information then that might be useful for you as well. So this is a nice way of describing your Boolean. Apart from the Boolean, the only other tips I want to share with you is using the quotation marks. This is to keep specific words or concepts together for an exact phrasing. If you are searching for articles on human resource management, that exact concept, and you put it in inverted commas, quotation marks, you will find that exact phrase. If you don't do that, you might end up with articles where the keyword human is in one paragraph, resources in another one, and management right at the end of your article. So if you want to keep your concepts together, use quotation marks. And the brackets you will use to keep all your synonyms or related concepts together. That would be all those keywords that you combine with an or. So in my example here, an example of a search string would be green energy, where we've put green energy in quotation marks because we want to keep them together, or sustainable energy or renewable energy, because all of them are related terms and concepts. We gather them together in brackets, and then we combine them with and logistics or supply chain. So That's it. If you can use your Boolean, use quotation marks, and remember to keep your alls related terms in brackets, you can start searching for information. So let's do that and kick off with our first quick and easy search technique on the library's homepage. So if you go back to the library homepage, before I move on, Kirna, sorry, I can't see the chat. Are there any questions at this stage before I move on and demonstrate the first search technique?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, so let's start on the library homepage. And my tip is always to the students to select advanced search over here, because then you have more options to limit your search and to make sure that you find exactly what you're looking for. So on the homepage of the library, we are now searching for articles. So the first thing that we're going to do is limit our search to articles at the top. And on the right-hand side, under material types, we're also going to limit our search to articles. So immediately now, you know what are you working with. We are now searching for articles. And if I can get back to my library guide, just to find an example of keywords that we can use and that we can search for, I'm going to select my Honors Bisman students topic. And I had for them to explain to them the quick and easy search method, I have these following steps. So first of all, you identify your keywords and you decide which one is the most important one. And then we've used our Boolean and or and to combine them. We've used our quotation marks, and then let's practice and search together. So say, for example, we were looking for information about the impact of genetically modified foods on our lives. Then I would identify the keywords genetically modified foods, and I would think of related terms and synonyms. It could also be GM food, transgenic food. The impact on our lives would be concepts like food safety, food risk, allergic reactions, health, and you can keep going if you can think of more. And then I have a search string by using those search techniques in combining our search keywords. So when you do a quick and easy search technique, you would start off quick and easy, just want to get an idea what's available, and you would start off with your most important concept or keyword. Yes.
Here's just a question from Ms. Charumbira. What about the use of the word near?
Of the word what? Say again.
Near, soos naby.
No, I won't advise you to use that, because that can be used in so many different contexts, and you would receive a lot of results that's not necessarily really relevant for your topic. So take a look at the concepts and just identify the main keywords. Try to ignore, you would see in my example, I don't have on our as one of the concepts that you would use. Or impact, because impact can be used in so different subject fields with so different meanings. So stick with the main concepts and keywords. And if you struggle with that, I would really advise you to just contact your faculty librarian so that they can assist you in identifying the main keywords. So once again, like in my example here, the main concepts, genetically modified food, and that's what I'm going to use to start my quick and easy search. So I'm going to leave out all the other words and just use the main concept and keyword to start my quick and easy search. So let's use this keyword, genetically modified foods, and then we're going to go to use the library search engine. We're limiting our search to only articles, and we are going to search with our keyword here. Click on search. I'm going to enlarge my screen so that you can maybe just be a little bit more, see what's available. There we go. Right at the top, it gives us an indication of how many articles were found with our keyword genetically modified foods. And I think you'll agree with me, that's quite a lot. You don't want to browse through all of those to find maybe something that you can use. So now we are going to use our search techniques and we are going to apply them to limit our results. One of the techniques you would remember, if I put this in quotation marks, then we are going to search for that exact phrase. So I want the exact phrase, genetically modified foods, and I'm going to click on search again to see what happened with my results. And now we are down to 14,683. That's still a lot. So another way of limiting your search, and you can do this in all the different databases that you use. All of them will have an option somewhere where you now can limit that keyword to be only in the title of the article. So let's do that and click on search again and see what happened with our results. And you can see we are down from 14,000 to 1,000. And the way that I'm searching now, this is how you will also search. You would play around with your keywords. Start broadly. If you get a lot, then you start to limit it by using the different techniques. Okay, you can see the library's search engine are very user-friendly. There's, from the drop-down there, the Boolean operators already added for you, and, or, and not. And by now, you know if you add another keyword by using and, you will limit your results. Yes, I'm listening, Kirchner.
Sorry, we have a raised hand. And I also just, Ms. Mabui, Hanlie is sharing the screen. Please just check if at the lower right corner of your Teams, if there isn't a minimized screen, something there. But there's also a raised hand. I think it's Ms. Charambira.
Okay, I wanted to clarify my question regarding the use of the word near. I've seen it mostly used in the Cochrane reviews and maybe PubMed, where it's used like a Boolean operator.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for that clarification. Yes. If you use different databases like PubMed, and I'm not familiar with PubMed, and I know some of the engineering databases definitely well. Some of them will have different ways where you will use a quotation mark option. So when you use a database, do take a look at the help function and the search tips on that database to see how they use that. Most databases will use the quotation marks that I'm demonstrating now. Okay, thank you for that. Yes, absolutely true. Some of them will use maybe a dash or something to indicate these words must be near or close to each other or right next to each other. So do take a look at the search help functions from that specific database. And that's from the start why I've said that's one of the advantages of using a database is that you have these options, advanced search options to limit your search and results. Thank you so much for that. That's very important. Okay, Kirchner, can I continue now?
Yes, no further questions.
Okay, so we are now down to just over 1,000 results, and I'm going to take a look at my topic here, and I would see, all right, I have another concept that's important for me might be I decide food safety. So that is another keyword or concept that I can add, and I can use this option over here, and from the drop down here, add another keyword, food safety. Now, this quick and easy search technique, play around with your keyword, do more than one search, using all your keywords to just get an idea of what's available. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm adding and food safety, and I'm going to click on search. And now let's take a look. We are down to 558. So now I can decide, all right, this food safety concept is also very important for me, and I also want to limit that to be only in the title and not anywhere else. And click on search again, and now we are down to 49. So you can immediately see how you limit your results by just using the functionality of the search engine here. Now, I've promised from the start that we are going to search for peer-reviewed, and this is the advantage of using Sun Search. So on the left-hand side, under availability, you would see that there's an option available to limit your results to only peer-reviewed journals. And then you can just confirm, apply these filters. And now we are down to 35 articles, and all of them are peer-reviewed, top quality academic articles by credited authors that you can use for your research purposes. And you will see there's an indication with each article, peer-reviewed, peer-reviewed. Follow your link to find the full text, but this session is not about finding the full text, so I'm going to stick with just the search strategies, but I just want to show you that that's where you will find the link for the full text article. I've also mentioned that the advantage of using Sun Search, the library search engine, is that we cover multiple databases with one search. And to see which databases we have covered, if you take a look once again on the left-hand side under databases, here is a list of the databases that we have now covered and found results. And right next to each one, you will see there's an indication of how many articles that we found were from which database. And this is also an indication of which databases are important for your specific topic or subject field, so that you can search specifically in this database as well to find more relevant information. Also, just for interest's sake, take a look at journal titles. This will also give you an indication of how many of these articles were published in which journal, so that you can see which journals are also important for you to take note of. Even for in future, if you might consider to publish your research, to know what journals that you can consider, what journals are covering your subject field. So that's a quick and easy search technique. Kirchner, any questions on this technique or using Sun Search before I move on to the second technique, building blocks?
No questions, but I see Dr. Mkamba has got his hand raised.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's very informative. This I want to learn difference between this Sun Learn database and other database. I really get confused when I search that I have to use this one. Is the Sun Search? Is the Sun Search one of the database? Database I think.
Yeah. Sun Search is a library's search engine that's covering multiple databases, like I've showed you here. So you can this will give you an indication of which databases you have covered. So this is why it's also always a good idea to start here, because this will give you an indication which databases you can use, because different databases focused on different subject fields and different journals. Some might focus more only on medical journals like PubMed, medical information. Others might focus only on economic journals, and you might find another database that will focus more on history journals. So in order to know which database you must use, I would recommend that you use the specific subject guide for your subject that you use. Like I've showed where you from the library guides over here, if you select on your specific subject field, say for example economics and science.
Yes.
Okay, so let's definitely do that. And then you will find a list of suggested databases by that specific librarian. Oh, sorry, this is not the science one. Where is the science one?
Medicine.
School of Public. I know the science have different departments like the chemical or genetics, like for an example, also agricultural sciences, you will have a subject fields for each and different subject, like agricultural economics, genetics, etc. So just search for your specific subject to find a list of suggested databases. And also, please feel free to contact your faculty librarian to suggest specific databases that you can use.
Thank you. Yeah.
In the rest of the following search technique, I'm also going to demonstrate specific databases because Sun Search is now, like we've said, a general search way of starting to search, covering multiple databases. But now you can move on to more specific databases for your subject field. And I'm going to demonstrate Scopus because Scopus is one of those databases that only indexed accredited journals. So every article that you find in Scopus you can use. And it covers multiple subject fields. So it will be applicable for most students. You will find information in Scopus. And it has very powerful search tools that we are going to use and apply with our building blocks search technique and also the pool growing search technique. So let's move on to our building blocks search technique. And I'm quickly gonna show you what this entitled. So the same as when you start with your quick and easy search technique, with the building blocks, you will identify your keywords, but what you will do now is you would write down your keywords right next to each other in columns. In my example here, I was looking for articles on modern town planning in the Netherlands. So my keywords, main keywords, I think about them and I've identified them and I think of synonyms and related terms and I write it down. So the most important one is town planning. So then I write in the first column, town planning. Second most important keyword, I'm looking for modern town planning. Third most important keyword, I'm looking for modern town planning in Netherlands. Then you take a look at each and every one of those keywords and you think of synonyms for each one of those and you write that just below each keyword. Town planning could also be urban planning and can also be city planning. Another concept might be urban design, urban planning. So you can keep going with all the related terms and synonyms that you can think of. For the scientists and agricultural students, you can even add your scientific names in here as well. And if you have caps, codes, and chemical codes, you can add that as well. For my concept modern, another related term could be current, contemporary, 20th century, and you can keep going if you have more concepts. Netherlands could also be Holland, Amsterdam, or Dutch. And what we are going to do now, after you've write down your keywords right next to each other, synonyms below them, we are going to use our Boolean and we are going to combine all the rows with an OR and all your columns with an AND. And I'm going to demonstrate that to you right now. But before I move on, I also always suggested to my students to add another column here and list all the databases that you've covered. Because we call this the building blocks search technique, because as you keep on searching and find information, you might pick up more related terms or synonyms, and then you can just add them to the relevant column, and then you can go back to your first database that you've used to make sure that you include this added concept that you have in that database as well. So then you have a nice structured way of searching with the same keywords in all the different databases. And if it's applicable to your topic, you can even add another column with the dates that you are covering, depending on your topic and what's important to you. So it will help you to have a structured way of searching. And you can always show your supervisor this block with all your keywords so that it's an indication of what concepts, what keywords did you use. Now, in order to help you with this building blocks and to find your super search string, like in my example over here, there's a link to the search strategy builder. And this is also available on the library's guide for effective searching. Let me quickly show you. Learning, find, access, and use information, and find information, the search strategy. There you have the link to the search strategy builder. Now, how this works is this is just a nice way of assisting you with your keywords. So, for example, I'm going to stick with my town planning. I would type in my concept, my keyword here, town planning. My second concept was modern, and my third concept was Holland. Then I would think of related terms for town planning, and that could be city planning. I can also maybe use urban design. And I can also use maybe something like urban planning. You get the idea. Modern could be contemporary. It's another related term. I could also use something maybe like the 20th century. And Holland could be something like, I can also say Dutch. And if you don't have, if you only have two columns, you only have two columns. If you have more columns, you can add more columns to show your supervisor. And when you're finished, you can select this click to create a search strategy, and there you have your concepts and your super advanced search string that you can show your supervisor and impress your supervisor with. So, unfortunately, not all databases can handle an advanced super search string like this. And that's why I would also advise you, if a database can't do an advanced search like this, Scopus can, and I'm going to show you how to do this advanced search within Scopus. Then my advice would be to break down your keywords and do a lot of searches within one database. So you start off with one search like town planning and modern and Holland. And when you're finished with that, you move on to your second concept, city planning and modern and Holland. And then you move on with the third search, urban design and modern and Holland. And when you're finished with that, you move on with town planning and contemporary and Holland, so that you do all the different variations with all your different keywords in the same database. And then you know you've covered everything. So this is just to explain to you and to help you to build your search string. And like I've said, this is available also on this find, use, and effectively a step-by-step guide. Under the search strategy, you will find the link to that search strategy builder over there. So let's go back to the library's data homepage, and we are going to select the database Scopus, because like I've said, Scopus cover accredited, good quality academic journals. You can use all the information that you find there. It's covering most subject fields, and also it has super tools that we can manage our results with. So to find Scopus, we can click on the homepage of the library on the databases A to Z list over here. This is where you will find a complete list of all the databases that the library subscribe to. And from this alphabetical list, we are going to select S for Scopus. Scroll down till you find Scopus and select the Scopus database. Okay, so let's go back to my search string over here. So what we are going to do in Scopus now is we are going to search with all the related terms, and then we're going to repeat our search with we're firstly going to search with all the keywords from one column. When we're done with that, we're going to search with all the keywords from our second column and then all the keywords from our third column. So in our example, we are now first of all going to search with all articles with town planning or urban planning or city planning or urban design. And this is going to be our first column, and we within Scopus are going to search with those concepts. So you can add it just like that, your synonyms in brackets, combine with an OR to find all the synonyms or related terms and click on search. And right at the top, Scopus will give us an indication of how many articles were found. So now we go back to our search screen because we want now to search for our keywords from our second column. But I want to show you within Scopus now, if you click on Advanced Document Search over here, and you scroll down to the bottom, you will see Scopus gives you now your search history. So now we have a set of results with all our first column keywords. Okay, so we are going back to our search screen within Scopus. You simply delete your first search and you type in all the keywords of your second column. In my example, it's modern or current or contemporary or 20th century. Go back to Scopus and paste our second column's keyword and click on search, and there's our second set of results. We'll go back to our search screen, and now if you take a look at our search history at the bottom, you will see there is our second set of results. Okay, I have one more column, Netherlands or Holland or Amsterdam or Dutch. And I'm going back to my Scopus, back to our search screen. I simply delete my previous search, paste the third column keywords, click on search, and I have my third set of results. Now, this is what's so brilliant about Scopus. If I now go to the search history at the bottom, I can combine these different search results according to the example right there at the top. Now, what's nice about this, I can now decide I want the search results of number 1 combined with number 2 or number 1 with number 3, etc. So you can do different combinations with your search results. I am going to do all three. I want all the search results of my search number 1, column number 1, and I want to combine that with all my search results that I found from column number 2. Oh, sorry. And like that, number 2. And I want to combine that with all the search results of number 3. Like that. And click on search. And right at the top, it gives us indication of how many were found. And this is brilliant because now I have covered all the related terms, all synonyms with one search. Just a quick tip. I know we are running out of time. After you have done advanced search like this, it's possible to create search alerts right at the top. Use that, and whenever a new article is published on your topic with your keywords, you will get an email to let you know there's a new article available, so that you don't have to repeat this super advanced search every 3 months to make sure that you are keeping up to date. And there you have your search results with this super advanced search string covering all your synonyms related terms. And if you have another concept, you can simply add that in the relevant column and repeat your search, and you know you are covering everything. And remember, everything here is good quality academic information. And now we are at our last result, the pearl growing, and also called snowballing search technique. And for that, we are also going to use Scopus. And within Scopus, on the right-hand side, you will see there's an indication cited by. And there's an indication of how many times this article was cited by any other article or researcher. And we are going to use this information to find the most cited articles. Right at the top, you can reorder your results according to cited by the highest. Now Scopus will rank our results according to the article that was cited the most right at the top. And now you select an article as highly cited as possible from the top that's relevant for your topic. And that is your poll. So, and then if you click on that title, Scopus will give you an abstract that you can quickly scan. You can see keywords provided by the author. Take a look at any other keywords that you can possibly use and also add. Scopus gives you the references to that article. And on the right-hand side, it will give you the link to each article that has cited and referenced this one. And if you now click on any one of those, you will get that article's reference list. And if anyone has cited that, you will get those links. So that's why we call it snowballing, because you start off with one good article and you use information from this article from Scopus to find more related information. And everything is good quality academic information that you can use. I think you can see the advantage of using something like Scopus versus just Google. Just one last thing. Don't worry if your poll article seems to be a bit outdated, because as you get to the cited by articles, you will get to the more recent ones. This still is the poll, the one that most researchers are citing with those keywords. And I'm out of time and I've managed to show you all three search techniques. Any questions?
Yes, Hanlie, if you could keep an eye on the chat, I have to move to the next session. But I see there are two questions that came through just now by Mr. Collier and Hammond Motzi, I think.
Okay.
All right.
No problem, Kirchner. I'll get to the chats and good luck with your session then. Okay, let me just quickly get to the chatter. Are all articles you find through Sun Library peer-reviewed? Not all of them. Remember when I showed you to limit your search on the left-hand side, there was an option under availability, and then you limit it to peer-reviewed articles. Was there another question? Let me just see. How do I search for articles within a specific country? Oh, yes, absolutely. You would definitely add the keywords and South Africa. If you add and South Africa in quotation marks, you will only find South Africa specifically, or else you might end up with articles with South and Africa in different paragraphs. So I would, if you want for South Africa specifically, I would suggest that you use South Africa in quotation marks. And also, there are specific databases that are focused on South African information. It's Sabinet, African journals, and you can also use SA Media for anything that was covered in South African newspapers. Okay, let me just quickly see if there's any other questions. I'm quickly gonna add my email here. Then you are more than welcome to send your questions to me, and also remember that you can contact your faculty librarian. Thank you all. Good luck with your studies, and it was so nice to meet you, and good luck, and I hope you'll be managing to search effectively. Thank you all. Bye.